You are listening to the Patriarchal Post podcast. It's a dark world, after all. April 5th, 2022. Unless you have been doing a really great job at avoiding the news or any kind of headlines, I am sure that you have heard about the recent Disney shenanigans. It has become a real big talk of the town in the circles that I follow. Not only that, it has become a big talk in our home. A few weeks ago, we decided to pull the plug on Disney Plus. And I will tell you, this was not an easy decision. However, it is the desire of this blogcast, or whatever we want to call it, to encourage fathers and families to think critically about mainstream topics such as this. So, in this post, I will give you my thoughts on the whole thing. Just a note, I do not desire to rate or critique movies here. Let's leave that for another day. The red flags began to appear as Disney rolled out their state-of-the-art streaming service called Disney Plus. There were multiple LGBTQ LMNOP videos on the site that normalized homosexuality. I thought, we can just shy away from those videos. No big deal. The next thing that we saw was the release of this Turning Red movie. If you didn't know, it's about a teenage girl going through puberty, all wrapped up in cutesy animation. Do I have a problem with this movie? Not really. I haven't even seen it. But through the commercials and trailers, I see a red flag. The normalization of sin issues of lust and teenage rebellion is that red flag. No, I don't live under a rock. I'm not one of those dads that thinks my kids never need to deal with tough real-life issues. The issue is that these things in this movie are normalized and glorified. The comment heard around the world was when the Disney CEO said that they indeed had an agenda to make 50% of their characters in their content LGBTQ+++ affirming. That was it for me. It was clear that they have an agenda against my God. And if you don't see why this is relevant for me as a Christian father, please just keep listening. We canceled our content after this comment, and I will explain more in just a minute. But it was as if this comment was just the preamble to the rest of Disney's constitutional change. Next, Disney World CEO Bob Chapek, or however you pronounce it, went back on his word about not opposing or supporting the HB 1557 bill being signed by Governor DeSantis in Florida. The bill gives rights to parents about what is being taught to their children in school, namely the limiting of critical race theory and LGBTQ agendas. He went back on his word? Why did he begin trying to be neutral? Because he's not an educator, and he's not a politician. He is the CEO of a theme park. Well, not anymore. Sign him up for the woke mob. Next was the uncovering of 4 Disney employees found in a prostitution and child sex trafficking sting. Okay, that's not the company, they are just employees. But here's another red flag. Disney made no comment. Then there was a rebellious push by the company to add a same-sex kiss back to the upcoming movie Lightyear after the bill HB 1557 was passed into law. And lastly, there is a comment from the Disney Corporation regarding the bill passed in Florida. Those who have opposed this bill have so creatively classified it as the Don't Say Gay bill. Disney CEO said, Florida's HB 1557, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill, should never have passed and should have never been signed into law. Our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down in the courts, and we remain committed to supporting the national and state organizations working to achieve that. We are dedicated to standing up for the rights and safety of LGBTQ+ members of the Disney family, as well as the LGBTQ+ community in Florida and across the country." End quote. Well, there it is, folks. The admission that your beloved Disney Corporation has just joined darkness and will continue to build into it. I'm not looking at this from a political view. How I see this is from a discipleship view. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. I hoped that they would just keep making content that had a good message and everyone could receive it. But in trying to reach out and let the LGBTQ community know that they are loved, Disney has chosen the path to make transgender humans and homosexual relationships a norm. There is a difference here between love and enabling. As a Christian father, I cannot support this normalization because transgenderism and homosexuality is not normal, healthy, or biblical. I know that the LGBTQ community needs to know love. They need the love of Christ. But Christ never came to the sinners and told them that their sin needs to be coddled or normalized to feel love. Love is the truth. And now Disney is waging war against truth in order to make it relative. Christians aren't called to the LGBTQ community to condemn them either. Christians should love them by telling them the truth in love, calmly, thoughtfully, and peacefully. Christians need to stand up and say things like, God made you male and female. What you are at birth is what He made you, and He made you that way for a purpose. What I don't need in the life of my family is even more darkness and confusion. We have enough of that being worked out in our own hearts. What I need is for my family to have truth and wisdom being poured into them. Every video, book, song, podcast, vlogcast, and conversation is a tool that is shaping your mind. And it is shaping your mind so that that mind can feed your heart. Your culture, environment, and daily walk is indoctrinating you in some way. Every moment you are being discipled. So I ask, how do you want your family to be discipled? Into darkness? Or having the light of the truth shed upon them? The Gospel of John says, "And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light, and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may clearly be seen that his works have been carried out in God." John 3:19-21. The world, I guess, is small in the way that It's a Small World suggests. And if you don't know what It's a Small World is, go and YouTube it. But it is even smaller than the writers of It's a Small World think. In the heart of every human lies rebellion against the one true God. Every heart. From this we must be saved by the Christ of light and life. The answer to this problem is very small, too, if we are still talking about It's a Small World kind of small. The answer to everyone's problem is turning from our wickedness and walking with Christ. What in the world kind of Bible are people reading that makes them think they must enable people to show them love? Repent is the theme of the Bible. Repent and let God instruct your mind and your heart about what is true. The truth is, we need Christ. We need His death. We need His resurrection. We need His light. We need this because it's a dark world after all. It's a dark, dark world.